the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
David Kaplan, the American philosopher and Hans Reichenbach Professor of Scientific Philosophy at UCLA, is a profoundly influential figure in analytic philosophy. He is best known for his work in the philosophy of language, particularly his semantic analysis of indexicals and demonstratives. Thanks for reading No Mic Podcast Scribed by Facelesslingjutsu. Subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work. David Kaplan's early life and intellectual journey reveal a fascinating path. Born in Los Angeles in 1933, he began his undergraduate studies at UCLA in 1951 on academic probation due to poor high school grades, initially pursuing music with an interest in jazz. A pivotal moment came when his academic counselor, Veronica Kalish, persuaded him to take a logic course taught by her husband, Donald Kalish. This introduction to logic proved to be a love at first sight for Kaplan, who found in it a purity and a subject he excelled at, in contrast to his self-perceived limitations in music. He went on to earn a BA in philosophy in 1956 and a BA in mathematics in 1957 from UCLA, continuing his studies there as a graduate student. He was the final doctoral student of the eminent philosopher Rudolf Carnap, completing his PhD in 1964 with a dissertation titled Foundations of Intentional Logic. This period as an undergraduate and graduate student at UCLA, interacting with figures like Carnap, Alonzo Church, and Richard Montague, was transformative, fostering an environment of intense philosophical discussion and discovery that he described as heaven. His early life, therefore, was marked by an unexpected turn from music to philosophy, leading him to become one of the most significant figures in the philosophy of language. 1960 A Paradox Regained with Richard Montague. This paper likely addresses and re-examines a known philosophical or logical paradox. 1961 Hempel and Oppenheim on Explanation with Rolf Eberle and Richard Montague. This work critically analyzes the deductive nomological model of scientific explanation proposed by Hempel and Oppenheim. 1961 Explanation Revisited. This paper re-evaluates or further develops ideas surrounding the concept of explanation, possibly in response to earlier discussions. After completing his PhD in 1964, David Kaplan's professional life has been almost entirely dedicated to the UCLA Department of Philosophy, where he holds the esteemed position of Hans Reichenbach Professor of Scientific Philosophy. His career has been marked by a relentless pursuit of clarity and precision in the philosophy of language and logic, building upon the formal traditions of UCLA established by figures like Carnap and Montague. Quantifying in, Synthese, 1968. In Quantifying in, Kaplan delves into the notoriously complex issues surrounding quantification into intentional contexts, such as belief reports and modal statements. The paper critically examines Quine's arguments against quantifying into opaque contexts, where the substitution of co-referring terms might change the truth value of a sentence. Kaplan's work here, deeply influenced by the ideas of Rudolf Carnap and Richard Montague, seeks to provide a more refined logical framework for understanding these linguistic phenomena. He introduces a nuanced system that allows for quantification into certain intentional constructions while attempting to preserve the intuitive understanding of what is being expressed in such contexts, laying groundwork for future developments in formal semantics. 1970. What is Russell's theory of descriptions? This work delves into and explicates Bertrand Russell's theory regarding the logical form and meaning of definite descriptions. 1971 Meeting of the Association for Symbolic Logic, Los Angeles 1971, this likely serves as a summary or proceedings report from the specified meeting of the Association for Symbolic Logic. Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, in Approaches to Natural Language J. Hintika ETALEDS, Rydell, 1973. This paper tackles issues related to conjunction and collective predication in natural language. The title itself, referencing a popular movie of the time, suggests a focus on how sentences with multiple subjects or objects linked by and are interpreted, particularly when a predicate applies to them collectively rather than distributively. Kaplan explores the logical form of such sentences, delving into the semantic intricacies of how group actions or properties are attributed. This work contributes to the broader field of formal semantics by providing a more precise analysis of complex sentence structures that go beyond simple subject-predicate forms. How to Russell a Freya Church, The Journal of Philosophy, LCI 1975. In How to Russell a Freya Church, Kaplan engages with the foundational debates in the philosophy of logic and language, particularly the contrasting approaches of Bertrand Russell, Gottlob Frege, and Alonzo Church. The paper examines the strengths and weaknesses of different logical systems, especially concerning their ability to handle various paradoxes and semantic challenges. Kaplan critically evaluates certain aspects of Frege and Churchian intentional logics, arguing for a more Russellian-inspired approach to certain problems, particularly those related to propositions and propositional attitudes. It showcases Kaplan's deep engagement with the history of analytic philosophy and his effort to refine its core concepts. That, Syntax and Semantics, Volume 9, ed. P. Cole, New York, Academic Press, 1978, and reprinted in the Philosophy of Language, ed. A. P. Martinich, Oxford, Oxford University Press, 1985. In that, Kaplan further explores the nature of demonstratives and their role in direct reference. The paper introduces the operator that as a device to form singular terms that are directly referential, meaning they refer to an object without the mediation of any descriptive content. For instance, that the first man to walk on the moon would directly refer to Neil Armstrong, regardless of whether he was the first man to walk on the moon, as long as Armstrong is the object demonstrated or intended by the speaker. This concept reinforces Kaplan's commitment to the idea that certain linguistic expressions simply pick out objects in the world, influencing later theories of proper names and natural kind terms. On the Logic of Demonstratives, Journal of Philosophical Logic, 8 1978, 81-98, and reprinted in French et al. Eds, Contemporary Perspectives in the Philosophy of Language, Minneapolis, University of Minnesota Press, 1979, 401-412. This paper, along with demonstratives, is one of Kaplan's most influential contributions. On the Logic of Demonstratives is a more concise, earlier published version of some of the central ideas that would appear in demonstratives. It formalizes the semantics of indexicals and demonstratives terms like I, here, now, and that by introducing the crucial distinction between character and content. Character is the linguistic meaning of an expression, a rule that determines its content in a given context, e.g. I refers to the speaker. Content, on the other hand, is the proposition expressed by an utterance in a specific context. This distinction allowed Kaplan to provide a rigorous account of how the meaning of these terms varies with the context of their utterance, while still maintaining a stable linguistic meaning. 1979 On the Logic of Demonstratives, this paper further explores the logical properties and implications of demonstrative terms in language. 1979 Trans World Airlines, this work likely examines issues related to identity across possible worlds, possibly in the context of modal logic or metaphysics. Opacity, in W. V. Quine L. Hahn, ed. Open Court, 1986. This essay is Kaplan's contribution to a volume dedicated to the work of W. V. Quine, a major figure whose ideas on opacity, reference, and the indeterminacy of translation profoundly influenced analytic philosophy. In Opacity, Kaplan addresses Quine's influential arguments regarding referential opacity, particularly in contexts like propositional attitudes, e.g. John believes that. While acknowledging Quine's insights, Kaplan offers his own perspective on how to understand and formally treat these opaque contexts, often drawing on the distinctions he developed in his work on demonstratives and direct reference. This paper reflects Kaplan's ongoing dialogue with Quine's philosophy and his efforts to provide robust semantic analyses that can accommodate the complexities of natural language. Demonstratives and Afterthoughts in Themes from Kaplan Omag, ETALEDS, Oxford 1989, ISBN 978-0-19-505217-6. These two papers represent the most comprehensive and widely cited exposition of Kaplan's theory of indexicals and demonstratives. Demonstratives, though formally published in 1989, had been circulated as a manuscript for decades and was profoundly influential during that time. It rigorously lays out the formal semantic framework distinguishing character, the meaning rule, from content, the proposition expressed in a context, and develops the logic of pure indexicals like I, now, and true demonstratives like that, requiring a demonstration. Afterthoughts, written as a commentary to demonstratives for this volume, provides further clarifications, refinements, and responses to criticisms and interpretations of his theory, offering invaluable insights into the nuances of his views and his ongoing reflections on the subject. Words, The Aristotelian Society, Supplementary Volume, LXIV 1990. In Words, Kaplan shifts his focus from the semantics of specific linguistic expressions to the very nature of words as linguistic entities. He explores the metaphysical status of words, addressing questions such as whether words are abstract types or concrete tokens, how they persist through time and variation, and what constitutes a single word across different uses and instances. This paper delves into the ontology of language, examining what kind of entities words are and how they relate to the sounds, marks, and meanings we associate with them. It's a foundational piece for understanding the metaphysics of linguistic items themselves. A Problem in Possible World Semantics, in Modality, Morality, and Belief. W. Sinnott Armstrong ETALEDS. Cambridge, 1995. In this paper, Kaplan addresses a specific challenge within possible world semantics, a dominant framework for analyzing modality, necessity, possibility, and intentional contexts. He identifies a particular problem or puzzle that arises when trying to integrate certain linguistic phenomena, perhaps related to direct reference or indexicality, into the standard possible world framework. The paper likely explores how the structure of possible worlds or the accessibility relations between them might need adjustment or reinterpretation to adequately capture the nuances of meaning and truth in modal and belief contexts, continuing his critical engagement with formal semantic theories. 2004 The Meaning of Ouch and Oops. This work analyzes the linguistic and philosophical significance of exclamatory or expressive terms like ouch and oops. Reading on denoting on its centenary, Mind, 114-2005, 934-1003. This extensive article is a profound and detailed re-examination of Bertrand Russell's seminal 1905 essay, On Denoting, which is considered one of the most important works in the history of analytic philosophy. Written for its centenary, Kaplan's paper offers a meticulous textual analysis of Russell's arguments concerning definite descriptions, e.g., the present King of France and their logical form. Kaplan clarifies, critiques, and defends various aspects of Russell's theory, providing fresh insights into its enduring relevance and its influence on subsequent developments in the philosophy of language. 2011 Words on Words. This work further reflects on the nature of words, possibly from a metalinguistic or philosophical perspective. 2012 An Idea of Donnellon. This paper explores or elaborates upon a specific concept or distinction proposed by the philosopher Keith Donnellon. 2013 De Re Belief. This work examines the concept of de re belief, which is belief about an object itself, independent of how it's described. In recent years, Kaplan has dedicated considerable effort to teaching introductory logic, notably through the development of Logic 2000, a free computer program designed to assist students with logic assignments. This initiative reflects his continued commitment to education and making complex philosophical concepts accessible. Throughout his long and distinguished career, Kaplan has maintained a strong focus on the foundational works of philosophers like Gottlob Frege and Bertrand Russell, continuously exploring and reinterpreting their ideas. References: Two-Dimensional Semantics, Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Andrew Bacon, John Hawthorne and Gabriel Uzquiano, Higher Order Free Logic and the Prior Kaplan Paradox, Canadian Journal of Philosophy 46 4-5, 493-541 2016. David Kaplan, Faculty. American Academy of Arts and Sciences UCLA. David Kaplan, British Academy. Archived from the original on July 7, 2015. Retrieved July 6, 2015. The Philosophy of David Kaplan. Oxford University Press. 2008 pages 27-8. CFUL, Center of Philosophy University of Lisbon. Archived from the original on August 13, 2017. Retrieved August 13, 2017. Rolf Skok Prize 2022. Archived from the original on March 25, 2022. Retrieved March 24, 2022.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No light, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. Turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw.
Play.